Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and today we are going to take a look at the Enduristan Hurricane Rucksacks available at RevZilla.com. So what is a rucksack? Well, it's a fancy damn name for a backpack, that's what. And what you're going to see from Enduristan with the Hurricane is you got two different flavors. You're going to have the smaller 15-liter, and then you're going to have the larger 25-liter. Now, this is going to be a little bit different than the conventional backpack that we normally see at RevZilla. This is really going to be something more for you enduro riders out there that are taking long hauls off-road. You want your hydration pack, but you also need a little bit of extra storage with you. Now, there's two different thoughts, from the school of how do you want to carry supplies with you on the bike. Some people like to actually have luggage on the motorcycle. Others like to carry everything on their persons to keep the bike as light as possible. This is for those of you out there that are the latter. You want to keep everything from a tool roll to extra supplies you might need on your bike with you, but you want to keep it nice and tight and minimal. And that's what you're going to see from the Hurricane line of rucksacks. Now, this is going to be constructed using the same three-layer design that we've seen across the board from Enduristan. The outside is just a rubberized material to give it a nice grip. The inside, the middle section, the jelly center, if you will, is going to be the 1000D nylon core. And then the interior, the third layer, is going to be a vinyl interior, which just is going to give you some additional pockets sewn to the inside of this as well. Now, when we're taking a look at the main inside, the guts of this guy. If we open it up, you'll notice big, beefy zipper pulls, really like this, because you can get your whole hand on there, you can pull this open. You are gonna have the waterproof zippers on this, so it is gonna be guaranteed waterproof. Everything is going to be thermo welded for the seams. The inside will have a few extra little storage compartments. Now, this one does have this little thing that looks like a laptop pocket in the back. Not big enough for a laptop, maybe a tablet. A little bit of extra Velcro in there if you have anything you want to Velcro to stick into the side of that, but not really any specific functionality in mind. And then additional pockets on the outside. Now, when we close this up, you will notice moly webbing, which is going to run its length around the side for extra lash down or tie down points. And if you're not familiar with moly webbing, what this is this comes from the military, and really what you're going to see is just this material that runs with little bar tack stitching down the center, and just gives you lash down points so you can lash down or tie items to the outside of this bag. Now, you are going to have lash down points on the outside. You'll also notice a little Velcro patch right here. If you want to, you can register the bag with Enduristan, and for no extra charge, they'll give you a little patch that has your name on it, your blood type, and then the Enduristan logo. So again, that's going to be free with the purchase of the bag. But the real story here is the hydration pack. Now, from a pricing standpoint, the 15-liter is $200 as it comes, or right around there. If you want to add the hydration pack, there is going to be an available hydration pack for it. That is going to bump an extra $50 in price. So that runs you up to the $250 price point if you want to run the hydration pack. Now, this is going to be the same as what we've seen from other manufacturers. You're going to have this little blue thing on the middle, and what you can do with this is, if you want, on the inside of the bag, you can actually attach this together, kind of like a Ziploc bag, and it limits the size of the bladder. So it'll only go up to about 2.5 liters. So if you're trying to keep the bag nice and compact, it helps to minimize the size of the hydration pack. Or if you're like me and you drink, 6 or 7 liters of water in a day, you go ahead, you run that wide open, and you can fit 3 liters of water in this. But again, this is not going to be included with the bag unless you go for the $250 price point. So you can get it as a package, or you can buy it separately. Hydration pack will fit nicely on the inside of this behind the padding, so it doesn't take up any space of the inside of the bag. But if you're running a full 3-liter bladder in this, just keep in mind it will kind of push against and limit the amount of space you're going to have for storing items on the inside of your pack itself. Very clean, nice lines for padding. Thank God there is a label included, because it shows you what small and large is. If you want this to be a smaller strap, you simply push this little guy up, and then just as the instructions would imply, you can go ahead and put that in the other direction if you want it to be larger. Now, one of the things that I do like is these straps are huge. So if you're a larger rider out there, there is really a great range you can run for the straps. However, with the waist strap, it doesn't get quite large enough for those of you out there with larger bellies. So just something to note. So I think the fact that you can extend the arm straps is a great positive for larger riders. I think for the waist strap, I would have liked to have seen them do the same thing with that. Now, for the most part, kind of straightening that out, you will notice that the same feature set is going to be carried over to the main bag, including these little side compartments. So one of the things I was talking with one of my associates about was, what do you put in here? And there's only a mesh bottom to it. And I don't see this as much for water bottles as maybe a fuel bottle. I also think you'd be able to fit a spare tube in one of these side pockets. The only thing to note is that you want to make sure that it is going to be kind of like sealed down, and you can do that with this strap along the bottom. If I was running a tube or something, I'd probably put maybe like a rock strap or something over top to make sure it was really sealed into place there. But with all these extra little tie down points on the webbing, that is going to be easy to do. So I just wouldn't put anything inside of these side pockets without making sure that it was secured in some way. Now I'm going to set this here and hope to God that it doesn't fall over while I now strike our attention to the larger bag for a moment. And like I said, most of the features on this are going to be the same. What I do want to point out is you are going to have 2 additional pockets. Now the inside pocket for this is going to be large enough to fit a small laptop if you so choose, but you're also going to have a separate pocket that is going to go into the outside, and this actually sits suspended in the top of the bag. This is going to be perfect for goggles, sunglasses, any items that you don't want to get scratched by putting them in with the rest of the bag. So this is great for those of you that are going to be using, mirrored goggles during a sunny day. Maybe you carry clears with you if you're riding a longer ride, and you can keep a set of spare clears in the top of this, which can easily be pulled out, and you don't have to worry about scratching them. You'll also then notice at the bottom of the bag, you're going to have another compartment at the very bottom. And we were trying to figure out what this is for. This is actually going to be a separate compartment for your tool roll. So it helps to keep the weight nice and low in the bag. You don't have to worry about keeping your tools at the bottom of the bag and then having to pull everything out to get to them, which is ingenious. If you've ever been to the side of the road and your buddy's like, hey man, do you got a screwdriver? And you're like, yes, I do. And I now have to unpack everything to get to it. So the fact that you now have a separate compartment that you can reach in, grab the tool that you need, and not have to disturb the rest of the pack is something that, if you've ever been in that situation, you will surely appreciate the simplicity of the thought, simplicity of the design, but also the extreme functionality that brings to the table. So these are your 2 options. Now the same thing with the 25 liter, it's going to come in around the $270 price point, and if you want to add the hydration pack to it, that's where you'd bump up to around the $320 price point. Now between the 2, I actually like the 15 liter probably the best. It's nice, it's slim, it's not too much larger than my existing hydration pack, but it gives me extra storage if I want to carry things in my pack. For those of you out there that want to go maximum, you don't mind having the extra weight on your body, then that is where you'd be taking a look at the 25 liter. But the construction is beefy, they are built to last, and it's really the same thing that we've seen from Enduristan with their luggage, now carrying over to their backpack. So there's a lot of folks out there utilizing Enduristan luggage, and if you want to hear more about what they have to say, now would be the time to go ahead and click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, which will allow you to read other rider reviews for folks that are already out there, or from folks rather, that are already out there utilizing these bags on their motorcycles. If you want to talk to one of our gear geeks as to which backpack is right for you and your riding style, you can always give them a shout at 877-792-9455, or simply shoot over an email to cs@RevZilla.com. I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the Enduristan Hurricane rucksacks, backpacks. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.